Now we're going to continue our discussion on congruent triangles by focusing in on the right triangle. Let's suppose we have a couple of right triangles and the legs are congruent. So we're going to call that LL. If that happens, now remember, you've got the legs and then you've got the hypotenuse. Well, so you notice the situation here. You've got this side is congruent to this side and this side congruent to this side. Now here in between is the right angle. So really what you have here is you have side, angle, side, side, angle, side. So there you have another situation, spelled out here where you have a right triangle. If the legs are congruent, then you've got two congruent triangles. It's just a special case of side, angle, side. Now, a hypotenuse angle. So if the hypotenuse and an acute angle of one right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse and the corresponding acute angle of another right triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So there you have a situation like this where you have an angle and the hypotenuse here. Okay. See, so the angle and the hypotenuse. And of course, that kind of reminds me of angle, side, because you have an angle here, and then you have a side. So hypotenuse, angle. And then the next one, if one leg and an acute angle of one right triangle are congruent to the corresponding leg and acute angle of another right triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So I've got a situation like that drawn here. Here you have a leg and an acute angle here, and those would give you, and you'll notice a lot of these are just special cases of what we already talked about. Okay? So, but we're just focusing in on the right angle, right triangle. Now the hypotenuse leg, if the hypotenuse and a leg of one right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse and corresponding leg of another right triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So hypotenuse leg, and you can see that. You can see that here. Hypotenuse, and then one of the other legs is congruent. Okay, so you can see these are just special cases. If we're talking about right triangles, what to think about. And, because we already know one of the angles in a right triangle, all right triangles have one angle congruent, right? The right angle. Every right triangle is going to have one angle congruent to every other right triangle. So there you go.